to the world around. Join friends to be found. Let's talk in English. Learning together can be fun. The journey's begun. The journey's begun. Let's talk in English. Learning together can be fun.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk in English on PTS.
Get ready to learn something new today. My name is Gabe.
And my name is Andrea. Our Hualien story continues today. We keep learning more about Chinese food and manners. So let's get started with today's keywords. Our first one is bean. Bean. Eat your beans, Joel. They are good for you.
Soup. Say it again. Soup. Charles likes eating hot soup on a cold day.
Coin. Coin. Diana doesn't have a lot of money. She only has a few coins.
True. True. Is it true that Marty has a new job? Well, is it true that we're going to review these keywords? Yes, it is. The first one is bean. Bean.
Soup. Soup.
Coin. Coin.
True. True. Now, is it true that Eddie has today's mission?
Well, let's go and ask him. Eddie, you won't let us down. You have the mission, right?
I always have the mission, and it's true. I have the mission.
Oh, good news, Eddie.
Is it true you'll give it to us now?
Sure.
All right, good.
Right, here it is. What is Paul playing with?
What is Paul playing with?
We'll find out today. Let's begin with our Read It paragraph.
After dinner, Aunt Susie brings out green bean soup. Brian is very excited. He loves green bean soup. Patty is surprised. She usually eats salty beans. She never eats beans for dessert. But she tries a little of the soup. She likes it. She asks for more green bean soup. The whole family enjoys the dessert together. Then Brian sees Paul. Paul is playing with a coin. Brian is not happy.
Well, you know, I understand how Patty feels. Before I came to Asia, I never had sweet beans. I would only eat salty beans.
You know, it takes time getting used to new food. If you're going to a new place, you have to eat the food a lot sometimes before you get used to it, before you start liking it.
Yes, that's right. Well, at the beginning of our Read It paragraph, Susie brings out green bean soup. Well, let's look at our keywords. The first one is bean. Bean. A bean is a kind of vegetable. Beans are very healthy, and there are many different kinds of beans that you can eat.
And of course, many snacks have green beans and other kinds of beans as well. So there are many different kinds of beans. Some beans are big, some beans are little, and most beans can taste good.
That is true. I like red bean soup. And in our Read It paragraph, we have green bean soup. But our keyword is soup. Soup. Soup is something that you drink. You can enjoy soup with a meal.
And if you have a cold, it's a good idea to drink chicken soup. That's good for when you have a cold.
That's a great idea, Gabe. Well, let's look at the next keyword. It is coin. Coin. A coin is a kind of money. You can hold a coin in your hand. It's heavier than paper money.
And when you go on public transportation, then you might need to pay with coins. You might have to pay some money, and usually you can pay with coins.
We find this key word in the answer to today's mission. The question is, what is Paul playing with?
What is Paul playing with? Paul is playing with a coin.
And Brian is not very happy about that, but I'm sure that all of you are happy to learn more with Thomas.
大家好，我是 Thomas。首先来学 bean， 如果是指豆子的本身是可数的 beans， 但是如果是 bean soup 豆类的汤的话呢，那就不可数了。所以这边提到呢 ，Aunt Susie brings out green bean soup， 这是不可数了。Brian is very excited. He loves green bean soup. 还是不可数。Patty's surprised she usually eats salty beans. 她通常呢是吃咸的豆类，不管是蚕豆、大豆、四季豆，都是属于这种豆类。一颗一颗的豆子是可以数的。Salty beans. She never eats beans for dessert. 她从来呢没有吃豆子来当做甜点哦。But she tries a little of the soup. 这个时候 a little of the soup 汤的本身呢就是不可数了，所以如果是红豆汤的话 red bean soup， 绿豆汤呢 green bean soup。 另外有一点要注意的是，喝汤的时候中文是用喝，但是英文要用 eat， 不可以用 drink。 比如说呢 I like eating hot soup on a cold day， 在很冷的天气的时候我喜欢喝热汤，这个时候是用 eat hot soup， 而不能用 drink。 接下来我们来学 coin。 是铜板或者是硬币，有人呢喜欢收集邮票 to collect stamps， 有些人喜欢收集硬币 to collect coins C-O-I-N-S。 这样子一种hobby， 这种嗜好呢，这种娱乐呢就叫做 coin collection， 收集硬币。另外如果是纸钞呢，纸钞是 bill， 比如说一张100块的纸钞 a $100 bill， $100 中间要有一个连字号当做形容词的用法哈。一张100块的纸钞 bill。 我们来看下一段。
That's my coin, Paul.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The coin is cool. It's gold.
Give it back, Paul.
I can share it with you.
But it's not yours to share. It's mine.
Brian, it's okay. If Paul wants to share, let him.
But it's not his.
Both of you can have it. Brian, we can play with it together.
That's my pen, Gabe.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This pen is cool. It's red.
Give it back, Gabe.
What? You can share it with me, can't you? Wait, Andrea, let's teach this. Let's teach give it back. That is a good phrase to know, and it's what Brian says to Paul. He says, give it back, Paul. He's talking about that coin, that gold coin.
If you give something to someone for them to use, but you want it back, then you can say, give it back. Now, I gave my pen to Gabe, but he didn't give it back to me, so I'm going to ask again. Maybe I'll be a little nicer this time. Gabe, give back my pen, please.
Oh, you said please?
Please.
Well, sure. Thank you for letting me use it. I will give it back to you.
Thank you for giving it back to me.
Thank you for sharing your pen. There is another good word. It's important to share, or to know how to share. When you share something, that means you let somebody else use it, or somebody else play with it. You share.
Often when I eat food, I like to share it with people. If I bake something, I like to share what I bake with my friends.
She makes a good dinner. Well, right now we want to share our time with Thomas. It's his turn to teach right now.
这里首先我们来学 gold。gold 呢，在这边是金子做的，它是形容词，它也可以用名词哈。gold 也是金子这种材质，叫做 gold。It is gold， 它是用金子做的。如果是 it is golden，G-O-A-L-D-E-N， 那就是金色的，不知道是不是金子哈，但是是有金色的外表。It's gold， 你也可以说它是用金子做的。It's made of gold. It's made of gold. 如果是用银子做的呢 ，It's made of silver. S-I-L-V-E-R. 如果是用铁做的呢 ，It's made of iron. 这样子一个用法。接下来呢，要人家把东西归还，可以用 give something back. Give it back. Give it back to me. Give my coin back to me. Give my coin back to me 就是说把我的金币呢还给我 Give my gold coin back to me 那这边呢如果说要人家把话收回来的话呢可以用 take it back Take it back 请你把话收回去 Take it back please 那个 it 就是你刚刚说的话把它收回去后面呢提到 share 呢是分享Paul 在这边讲说 I can share it with you to share something with someone 拿什么东西跟别人来分享 But Brian 说 It's not yours to share Yours 就等于 your gold coin It's not your gold coin to share 这东西根本就不是你的你怎么跟别人分享呢 So how can you share something with someone when that something is not even yours 那东西根本就不是你的你怎么去跟人家分享呢是这样的一个意思哈后面呢提到说 well 如果 Paul 要分享的话就让他分享吧 If Paul wants to share let him If Paul wants to go let him 如果他想要离开就让他走吧 If Paul wants to say something let him 如果 Paul 要讲什么的话就让他说吧我们来看下一段
Paul, my teacher gave the coin to me. You were there.
Is that true, Paul? No! Mr. Lee gave it to me.
When did you take it from me, Paul?
What are you talking about? When did Mr. Lee give the coin to you, Paul? Let me think. He gave it to me on April 31st.
Then Paul is not the real owner.
Well, this is interesting. How does Patty know that Paul is not the real owner? Well, we will find out. First, let's look at that word owner. If you are the owner of something, that means it is yours.
And if you are the real owner of something, then it really is your thing. So Patty doesn't believe that Paul is the real owner. She thinks that Paul might be lying.
That is true. Maybe Paul is not saying what is true. Now, Gabe, are you the real owner of anything?
Yes, Andrea. I am the real owner of this red pen.
Gabe?
Yes.
No, you're not. That's my red pen. Give it back.
Here, you can have it back again.
Thank you. I am the real owner of this pen.
Yes, I guess that's true.
Yes, it is true. And that's a key word. Let's learn it together. True. True. If something is true, that means it is right. It is correct. It's true that this is my pen.
And you can also use this word when you're talking about someone who is a real friend. They are your true friend. A true friend is a good friend to you.
Sometimes you might answer true or false questions. If something is true, it is correct. If it is false, F-A-L-S-E, That means it is not true.
Well, Andrea, I have a true or false question for you.
Okay, what is it?
True or false? Susie is Patty's aunt.
That is true.
That is true. And true or false? That red pen is mine.
That is false, Gabe. I am the real owner. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
True or false?
Yeah,
Thomas is going to teach us more.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That is true. Let's see him now.
这里我们来学把什么东西给人 to give something to someone. My teacher gave the coin to me. 我的老师把这一枚的金币给了我 and 他说 No, Mr. Lee gave it to me. 不对啊 Mr. Lee 是把这个东西给了我啊 To give something to someone. 第二个动词片语呢是 to take something from someone. 把什么东西从什么人那里拿走 Paul, when did you take it from me? When did you take the gold coin from me? 你什么时候从我这里把那一枚金币给拿走了呢 To take something from someone. 接下来我们来学形容词 true. 真的吗 Is that true, Paul? 表示说 Is Brian telling the truth? Brian 是说的真话吗 So Paul is not the real owner. Paul 呢不是这一枚金币真正的主人了。我们来看今天的 Song Time.
Song Time.
Ice cream lemonade, cold and delicious treats. Popsicles, mango ice, they just can't be beat. Iced tea, banana splits, it is so hard to choose. As long as it's refreshing, we will never lose.
Summertime is fun time with such good things to eat. That's why it's my favorite time to go and have a treat. Have a treat. Summertime is fun time with such good things to eat. That's why it's my favorite time to go and have a treat. And have a treat. Ice cream, lemonade, popsicles, mango ice, iced tea, banana splits, cold and delicious treats. Summertime is fun time with such good things to eat. That's why it's my favorite time to go and have a treat. Oh, summertime is fun time with such good things to eat. That's why it's my favorite time to go and have a treat. And have a treat.
Conversation replay.
After dinner, Aunt Susie brings out green bean soup. Brian is very excited. He loves green bean soup. Patty is surprised. She usually eats salty beans. She never eats beans for dessert. But she tries a little of the soup. She likes it. She asks for more green bean soup. The whole family enjoys the dessert together. Then Brian sees Paul. Paul is playing with a coin. Brian is not happy.
That's my coin, Paul.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The coin is cool. It's gold.
Give it back, Paul.
I can share it with you.
But it's not yours to share. It's mine.
Brian, it's okay. If Paul wants to share, let him.
But it's not his.
Both of you can have it. Brian, we can play with it together.
Paul, my teacher gave the coin to me. You were there.
Is that true, Paul? No! Mr. Lee gave it to me!
When did you take it from me, Paul?
What are you talking about? When did Mr. Lee give the coin to you, Paul? Let me think. He gave it to me on April 31st.
Then Paul is not the real owner.
Calendar phrase.
Andrea, I'm better because I love to eat pizza.
No. I'm better because I love to eat Chinese food.
Well, I'm better because I love to eat hamburgers.
Well, I love to eat dessert.
You love to eat dessert?
Yes.
You win.
Yes, I win because I said the calendar phrase. It is, I love to eat dessert.
I love to eat dessert.
Dessert is something delicious and sweet that we eat after a meal. Gabe, do you love to eat dessert?
Andrea, I love to eat dessert. I love to eat sweet things after a meal.
Well, I love to learn more about our calendar phrases with our calendar phrase skit.
I love to eat dessert.
I love to eat dessert.
我爱吃点点。
Does anyone want ice cream? Yes, I love to eat dessert. I do too. Dan?
I love to eat dessert, but I don't like ice cream.
What? Why not?
It is too cold. I like warm desserts, like hot apple pie.
Oh, sorry. There isn't any apple pie.
Okay, you two will have to eat my dessert.
Sure, I love to eat dessert.
I love to eat dessert.
I love to eat dessert.
我爱吃点点。
Well, we love to practice with our question of the day.
Yes, we do. Hey, Eddie.
Here it is. Do you like to share your things with others? Why or why not?
Do you like to share your things with others? Why or why not?
Well, I think it's a good idea to share some things with others, but it's not always easy.
Friends, thank you for joining us here today on Let's Talk in English on PTS, where
Learning English can be fun.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Ice cream lemonade, cold and delicious treats. Popsicles, mango ice, they just can't be beat. Iced tea, banana splits, it is so hard to choose. As long as it's refreshing, we will never lose.
Join friends to be found. Let's talk in English. Learning together can be fun. The journey's begun. The journey's begun. Let's talk in English. Learning together can be fun.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk in English on PTS.
Get ready to learn something new. My name is Andrea.
And my name is Gabe, and you will learn something new from our lesson today. They are still in Hualien. Now first, let's get started with some key words. The first one is polite. Polite. It's polite to knock on the door before you open it.
Invite. Invite. I'm having a party and I'm inviting you.
Rude. Rude. Don't talk when the teacher is talking. That is rude.
Well, friends, let's say these key words together again. The first one is polite. polite.
Invite. Invite.
Rude. Rude.
Well, everybody, I would like to invite you now to go and find out what today's mission is. Hey, Eddie.
Yes?
What's today's mission, please?
Did you say please?
I did say please.
Yes, Gabe was very polite.
Okay, well, since you asked me so politely, here it is. Who is the real owner of the coin?
Who is the real owner of the coin?
Well, everyone, would you please join us as we go now to Hualien?
The real owner is Brian.
How do you know, Patty?
Because there is no April 31st. The month of April only has 30 days.
That's right.
Fine, take your coin.
Oh my.
Paul? I'm sorry, okay? Sorry.
I really don't like Paul.
Poor Paul. You know, he said he was sorry. Well, I guess we'll find out what happens more later. But for now, you know what we found, Andrea?
What did we find, Gabe?
It's true that we have found the answer to our mission right here. The mission is, who is the real owner of the coin?
Who is the real owner of the coin? The real owner is Brian.
Wait, how do you know, Andrea?
Well, we find out in our conversation. Patty is very smart. Patty says there is no April 31st, like Paul said. The month of April only has 30 days.
So Brian is the real owner of this coin. Well, Paul says, fine, take your coin. That's an interesting word to use in that way. Fine. If someone says something and it's true, and you have to agree, 同意, then you could say, fine, you're right.
We usually use this word to talk about how we feel. How are you? I'm fine. We can also use it when you have to agree with someone, even though you don't want to.
Right, so you could say fine in different ways. Now, Susie says something here. She says, oh my. Why does she say, oh my?
Well, oh my. Susie is surprised that Paul would act like that.
Paul threw the coin and ran to the door. So she said, oh my.
Oh my. The dog ran out of the house.
Oh my, that's horrible. But you know what's good?
What's good, Gabe?
Well, Thomas.
Yes.
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy, and he's going to teach us more.
大家好，我是 Thomas。首先看到 real 这个形容词，真的跟 really 它的副词，这边提到说 the real owner is Brian。real owner 真正的主人是谁呢 ？The real owner is Brian。因为之前呢在辩论说 Who is the real owner of the gold coin？ 谁是这一枚金币真正的主人呢？最后 Brian 发现了实情之后，他说 I really don't like Paul。我真的不喜欢 Paul。这个时候的 really 是当作副词的用法。这边 Susie 说 How do you know, Patty？Penny 你怎么会知道呢？如果你要强调，你可以说 How do you know for sure, Patty？Penny 你怎么能够确切的、真正的有把握呢？到底是怎么知道的呢？如果 do 改成 did，How did you know？ 你当时怎么知道的呢？ How did you find out？ 也可以，你怎么知道这件事情的真相的呢？ How did you find out? Because there is no April 31st。4月没有第31天，所以日期的时候要念 31st， 不可以念成 31。The month of April only has 30 days。所以呢，4月这个月只有30天。你也可以来造句，你说 February usually has 28 days， 就等于 The month of February only has 28 days. 除了在闰年的时候例外之外，才有29天。我们来看下一段。
Does he pick on you a lot?
Yes. Well, no, not really. He gets picked on too.
Paul just needs help sometimes. We all do.
He wasn't very polite.
No, I think Paul is angry and sad. His parents aren't home very much.
So we often invite him to eat dinner with us.
I try to be nice, but sometimes it's hard.
I'm glad you try, Brian. Paul is a good kid.
Yes, I think Brian is a good guy for trying. You know, Paul is a good kid.
Andrea, I don't like your hair like this. Can you... There we go. That looks better.
Oh.
Okay, go on.
Thank you, Gabe. Interesting. Well, I think it is nice of Brian
Andrea, can you slow down a little bit?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gabe. Okay, I will slow...
Thank you, Gabe. Okay.
Gabe?
I will slow down.
Gabe, why are you picking on me?
Andrea, I'm picking on you because that's what happens in this conversation. John asks, does he pick on you a lot? We can talk about pick on.
I see. Now I understand, Gabe. Now, when you pick on someone, that means you do something to a person that might upset them or not make them very happy.
Yeah, that's right. Usually when you pick on somebody, they aren't very happy. It's not very polite to pick on people, and I'm sorry I picked on you, Andrea.
Well, that's okay, Gabe. Now you are being very polite. And friends, that's our keyword, polite. Polite. If you are polite, that means you are very kind. You use nice words to talk to people. It's polite to say please and thank you.
It's very polite to say those words. And if you have hurt somebody, then you can say, I'm sorry. And it's also polite to tell them, I forgive you. Now, if you are not polite, you can put I am in front of the word, and it becomes impolite. That means not polite.
Yes, now we want to try to be polite all the time. Use words like please and thank you. And try not to pick on people.
No, don't pick on people. And when you have a party, be sure to invite me.
Oh, that's true. That's polite. And our next keyword is invite. Invite. When you invite someone to do something, you ask them to join.
So, when you have a party, like I was saying, please invite me, invite Andrea, and I'm sure Thomas would also like to be invited.
That's true. Well, right now we invite all of you to learn more from Thomas.
这里我们来学动词片语 pick on someone. To pick on someone 就是挑某人的毛病，找某人的麻烦，找茬的意思哈。所以这边说 Does he pick on you a lot? Does he pick on you a lot? 他是不是常常找你的麻烦啊？他是不是常常挑你的毛病啊？他是不是常常呢来找茬这样的意思哈 ？Well， 你也可以说 Why are you always picking on me? Why are you always picking on me? 你为什么总是找我的麻烦呢？总是挑我的毛病呢 ？Why are you always picking on me? 另外一个用法呢 ，Brian 说 ，Well, not really， 也不见得啦哈。He gets picked on too， 所以呢 ，he gets picked on by others too。所以呢，并不是只有 Paul 去找别人的麻烦，有的时候别人也会找 Paul 的麻烦。So Paul gets picked on by others. By others 省略了哈。By others gets picked on by others too， 也就等于 he gets picked on by others as well。且很多人会找他的麻烦。后面提到形容词 polite 是礼貌的。He wasn't very polite， 你也可以说 He was not a very polite person. He was not a very polite person. He wasn't very nice. 他不是呢很有礼貌。后面提到说，哦，这就是为什么我们常常邀请他来跟我们一起做什么。We sometimes invite him. We often invite him over for dinner, 或者是 to have dinner with us. 这就是为什么我们常常有时候呢有机会就邀他过来跟我们一起吃晚餐哦。To invite somebody to do something together， 类似这样子一个用法。后面 Brian 说 I try to be nice， 你也可以说 I try to be polite。 I try to be polite to people。 对人的话，我尝试要有礼貌，但是呢有的时候 it's kind of hard， 蛮困难的。我们来看下一段。
Paul was rude.
Yes, but we need to be kind anyway. We aren't nice to everyone all the time either.
No, you're right, Susie 阿姨.
Well, I'll call Paul's mother later.
Susie 阿姨, I can clean up.
No.
Mom, you've had a long day. We'll clean.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie 阿姨. Dinner was so good.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you all so much for joining us.
Yes. Patty says dinner was so good.
What did Patty say, Gabe?
Patty really liked dinner.
What?
Andrea, you're interrupting me. That's rude.
I'm sorry, Gabe. Yes, it's true. I was rude, but I was rude for a reason.
Why?
Well, because rude is a key word.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. You're great. Let's teach this key word. The word is rude. Say it with me. Rude. If you are rude, that means you are not polite. You are impolite. You are rude.
Patty says Paul was rude. And it's true, Paul was rude. He wasn't polite. He wasn't very nice, even though his neighbors invited him for dinner.
Well, later in the conversation, Patty says, Susie 阿姨, I can clean up. This is a very good phrase to know. I can clean up. You can use it if you want to help someone clean something. You can say, I can clean up. Don't worry about it. I can clean up.
It's especially nice if someone invites you to their house for dinner. When you say, I can clean up, it's a way to show that you appreciate the dinner.
Yes, and you can also say, I can help you if you want to help them in other ways. Well, I know someone who always helps us, and his name is Thomas. Let's have him help us right now.
这里我们来学形容词 kind, but we need to be kind anyway. 表示说不论如何，我们都应该要保持友善、有礼貌。We aren't nice to everyone all the time either. 我们也不是随时对每一个人都非常的友善啊，所以把 nice, polite, kind 一起来交互使用。你也可以说 We aren't polite to everyone all the time either. 我们也不是一直对每一个人随时都保持有礼貌啊。你也可以把 all the time 变成是 always. We aren't always nice to everyone all the time either. 我们也没有这样子做啊，类似像这样，所以我们还是要保持对别人的有礼貌，不论别人怎么样对我们哈。后面这边提到说 Mom, you've had a long day. A long day. 你的一天非常的长，每个人的一天不都是24小时吗？这意思就是说你今天够累的了哈。You've had a long day. We'll clean 就等于 we'll clean up. 我们来收拾就好了。我们看今天的 Inspector E.
Inspector E.
Hello everyone, I'm Mr. E. It's time to look more closely at our lessons. Let's listen to something that Brian said in one of our lessons this week.
But it's not yours to share. But it's not yours to share. But it's not yours to share.
What is Brian talking about? Well, let's take a closer look. In our story, Brian and his family were having dinner with Patty and their neighbor Paul. After dinner, Paul was playing with a coin. Brian said that it was his coin, and he asks Paul to give it back. Paul doesn't want to give it back. Instead, he says he'll share the coin with Brian. That's when Brian says, "But it's not yours to share." Brian means that the coin doesn't belong to Paul, and because it doesn't belong to Paul, he cannot decide to share it. Only the person who owns the coin can decide to share it. You can use this phrase in many different ways. For example, it's not your book to give away. This means that the book doesn't belong to you. You cannot give it away. Or, it's not my choice to make. Someone else has to make the choice. I cannot make it. Or, it's not his money to keep. This means that the money doesn't belong to him. He cannot keep it. Well, this is your lesson to learn, so I hope you practice it. Remember, use it or lose it. This is Mr. E, signing off.
Conversation replay.
The real owner is Brian.
How do you know, Patty?
Because there is no April 31st. The month of April only has 30 days.
That's right.
Fine, pick a coin.
Oh my.
Paul? I'm sorry, okay? Sorry.
I really don't like Paul.
Does he pick on you a lot?
Yes. Well, no, not really. He gets picked on too.
Paul just needs help sometimes. We all do.
He wasn't very polite.
No, I think Paul is angry and sad. His parents aren't home very much.
So we often invite him to eat dinner with us.
I try to be nice, but sometimes it's hard.
I'm glad you try, Brian. Paul is a good kid.
Paul was rude.
Yes, but we need to be kind anyway. We aren't nice to everyone all the time either.
No, you're right, Susie 阿姨.
Well, I'll call Paul's mother later.
Susie 阿姨, I can clean up.
No.
Mom, you've had a long day. We'll clean.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie 阿姨. Dinner was so good.
Calendar phrase.
Andrea, this place is a mess. Look at the floor. It needs to be cleaned.
Gabe, I can clean up.
You can clean up?
Yes, I can clean up.
Are you sure?
Yes, I like to clean. I can clean up.
Okay, well, let's learn today's calendar phrase first, and then you can clean. The phrase is, I can clean up.
I can clean up.
Now, if a place is messy or kind of dirty, then it's a good idea to clean it up. And maybe you can be the first to say, I can clean up. It's a good idea. I can help by cleaning something up.
You can also use this phrase after you eat, and there are many things still on the table. Say, I can clean up. You can make sure the table is clean again.
So maybe your room is messy right now, but before you clean it up, let's go and watch today's calendar phrase skit.
I can clean up.
I can clean up.
我可以整理干净。
The kitchen is so dirty.
Sorry, I can clean up.
What happened?
Jan, Marie, and I had a food fight.
Really? Why didn't they help clean up?
Well, I was throwing most of the food at them, so they left.
Oh.
I can clean up.
I can clean up too.
I can clean up.
I can clean up.
我可以整理干净。
Well, hey, now it's time for the QOD, Andrea. Are you ready?
Well, I am ready. I like to practice what we learn with our question of the day.
Okay, so Eddie, are you ready?
I am ready for the... Wait,
Eddie.
who has the question of the day?
Eddie, please.
Eddie, you do!
Please give us the question.
I have it. Okay,
Thank you, yes.
okay, sorry. Okay, I have the question of the day. Here it is. Who do you fight most with? Why?
Who do you fight most with? Why?
Well, I fight most with my husband, but I also love him the most.
Okay, well, we often fight the most with those that we love the most. That's very interesting. Well, thank you, everybody. What's your answer to this question? We want to thank you, friends, for joining us here on Let's Talk in English on PTX.
Where learning English can be fun. Bye-bye.
Ice cream.
Learning together can be fun.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk in English on PTS.
Everybody, get ready to learn something new today. My name is Gabe.
And I'm Andrea. Well, we have had a great week in Hualien together. We learned a lot about Chinese food and Chinese manners, didn't we, Gabe?
Yes, we did. And we also learned about Chinese food and Chinese manners in English.
That's true. Well, friends, we have more to learn today. Let's begin by looking at our keywords together. The first one is worth. Worth. This necklace is worth a lot of money.
Honest. Honest. Steve is an honest person. He never tells lies.
Stand up. Stand up. After class, everyone stood up and left.
Okay, everyone, stand up, or you can sit down if you want. But let's review these words. Worth. Worth.
Honest. Honest.
Stand up. Stand up.
Great job, everyone. Now let's go ask our good friend Eddie about today's mission. You know, Eddie, Eddie?
Yeah?
Eddie?
Yeah?
Can you stand up? We can't see you.
I am standing up.
Eddie.
Oh, Eddie. I'm
Poor
sorry.
guy.
Can you maybe come up a little bit? There you are, Eddie. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I was just standing up.
Okay, that's great. We understand you're a little bit shorter than we are.
A little bit.
Yeah. Eddie, can you give us today's mission?
Yeah, okay. All right, here it is. What Chinese food does Patty want to make first?
What Chinese food does Patty want to make first?
Let's join Patty as she is writing in her journal right now.
Dear Journal, I went to Susie Ayi's house for dinner tonight. Brian and his neighbor Paul had a big fight over a gold coin. Both said the coin was theirs. I knew it was Brian's because Paul lied about a date. Lying isn't good. I hope Paul learned his lesson. That gold coin was not worth the fight. Being honest is always the best.
You know, Patty has had an exciting time. She is writing about these things in her journal. Now, Gabe, do you agree? Have many things happened with Patty?
Yeah, a lot of things have happened. She writes about her visit to Susie Ayi's house and the fight over the gold coin. She writes, lying isn't good.
That is true. She also says that the gold coin was not worth the fight. Remember? Brian and Paul were fighting over this gold coin. Do you agree with that? It was not worth the fight?
It's not worth the fight. The gold coin is not better than the friendship that Brian and Paul have. It's not worth the fight.
Well, let's look at this key word together. It is worth. Worth. If something is worth doing or worth talking about, that means it is important to talk about or important to do.
And there's a good phrase to know, the phrase, it's worth it. If you have to pay a lot for something, but you really like that thing, you can say, it's worth it. I went to an expensive restaurant, but it was worth it because the food was so good.
You can also say it's not worth it. Sometimes you might be talking to a friend and want to say something that might hurt that person. You can think, no, it's not worth it. I'm not going to say it. It's not important.
And Patty has written in her journal, the gold coin was not worth the fight. They should not have fought.
Right. She also ends this part of her journal by saying, being honest is always the best. Let's look at that key word, honest. Honest. When you are honest, that means you say what is true.
And if you add a Y at the end, it becomes honesty, 诚实, honesty, or being honest.
Yes, and being honest is always worth it. Well, friends, let's keep learning more with Thomas.
大家好，我是 Thomas。这边有提到说 ，Brian and Paul had a big fight over a gold coin。这里的介系词要用 over， 是因为他们呢争吵是为着什么样一个题目，为着什么样一个东西，什么样一个点呢？所以要用 over。They had a big fight over a gold coin。他们针对这件事情呢，这个议题在吵架。接下来呢提到 lie。Paul lied about a date。Paul 呢针对一个日期呢撒了谎，所以这里的 lie 呢，它的原形动词是 lie， 过去是 lied， 分词是 lying， 现在分词是 lying。另外有一个字的动词的现在分词也是 lying， 那个呢是躺卧 ，lie， lay， laying， lying， 躺卧在哪里？所以这边不可能是说 Paul lied about a date. Lying isn't good. 不可能是躺在那边不好嘛，哈，所以应该是说谎是不对的。lie 变成现在分词的时候呢，是变成是 lying. Lying isn't good. 希望 Paul 从这一次的事件也得着了教训。I hope Paul learned his lesson. To learn one's lesson. 学到了功课，学到了教训。后面有一个句型是 That gold coin was not worth the fight. Worth 这个形容词是值得怎么做的。那一枚金币不值得大家来争吵。同样的句型，你可以说 The trip was not worth the time. 去走这一趟才发现根本不值得花这个时间走这一趟了。The movie was not worth the money. 那一场电影根本不值得花钱去看，这样一个意思。后面有一个形容词是 honest. Honest 是诚实的。Being honest is always the best. 诚实才是最上策，才是最好的方法。我们来看下一段。
I'm really enjoying this Taiwan trip. I like the people and I love the food. Tonight, Susie Ayi cooked a delicious meal. I had 3-cup chicken, fried rice, eggplant, water spinach, and green bean soup. Chinese food is so flavorful. The 3-cup chicken and green bean soup were sweet. The eggplant was a little spicy. and the fried rice and spinach were salty.
The eggplant was a little spicy, and the fried rice and spinach were salty. So Patty is doing a good job of describing the food that she has eaten at Aunt Susie's house.
Patty continues to describe the food. She says, Chinese food is so flavorful. If something is flavorful, that means it has a lot of flavor in it.
That's right. If you look at this word flavorful, it has F-U-L on the end. It is full of flavor. There are other words like this too, like the word wonderful. It means something has a lot of wonder or is full of wonder and good things. What's another word?
Well, another word is beautiful. If something is beautiful, it has a lot of beauty.
And Chinese food, as Patty writes, is very flavorful. Well, let's go to that wonderful man, Mr. Thomas, right now.
这一段首先我们来复习 3 cup chicken 3杯鸡 fried rice 炒饭 eggplant 茄子 water spinach 水菠菜就是空心菜的意思。接下来呢 a delicious meal 非常可口的一顿菜一顿餐。后面呢提到 flavorful 是一个新的单字。Flavorful 就是有风味的，很有味道的。这边说 Chinese food is so flavorful。本来名词 flavor 是不同的口味，比如说 You have 6 flavors to choose from。你可以选择6种的口味。另外，比如说 different kinds of ice cream flavors， 不同的冰激凌的口味可以来选择，比如说巧克力的啦、香草的啦、草莓的啦，这些都是 different flavors。后面呢来学各种的味觉，比如说尝起来很甜的是 sweet， 像绿豆汤 very sweet。接下来呢 eggplant spicy 是比较辣的，口味比较重的 spicy， spice 是香料的意思。后面说 salt 是盐，所以 salty 是咸的，把这个 spinach 菠菜呢列为是咸的，这些都是味觉的一些形容词。我们来看下一段。
Tonight, I learned that a Chinese wedding banquet often has 8 courses of food. Wow, that's a lot of food. I think Chinese food is becoming one of my favorite cuisines. I want to learn to cook Chinese food, and maybe Susie Ayi can teach me. First, I'll start with cooking rice. That should be easy. Boy, I am still so full. I need to stand up now. The very full Taiwan traveler, Patty.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Gabe, stand up. It's time to teach.
Andrea, I am drawing. You want me to stand up?
Well, yes, Gabe, you shouldn't sit there while we're teaching, so can you please stand up?
Okay, I'll stand up.
Okay, let me help you stand up.
Okay.
Okay, Gabe, thank you for standing up.
Whew, you're welcome.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, well, friends, let us look at this keyword together. It is stand up. Stand up. When you stand up, that means you go from sitting to standing.
That's right. Patty is talking. She's writing in her journal, and she says, I need to stand up now. If you've been sitting for a long time, maybe it would be good for you to stand up and walk around. Get some exercise. Stand up.
Yes, Patty says, I'm so full, I need to stand up now. Especially after you eat a lot of food. It's a good idea to stand up and move around.
That's right. You said she ate a lot of food. She wrote, wow, that's a lot of food. She's talking about the food she had at Aunt Susie Ai's.
Well, friends, we found the answer to today's mission. The question is, what Chinese food does Patty want to make first?
What Chinese food does Patty want to make first? Patty will start cooking rice.
Sounds good. Good luck, Patty. And friends, we hope you learn more with Thomas.
这里我们来学一个新的字，叫做 cuisine。cuisines， 复数是 cuisines， 所以注意它的发音后面是 S 是发 Z 的音，而且是长母音 cuisines。佳肴、风味餐，或者是呢有特殊的烹调风格的菜肴，都可以用 cuisine。这边说 I think Chinese food is becoming one of my favorite cuisines。所以呢，中国菜已经成为我最喜欢的佳肴之一了。所以如果是中国式的中式的佳肴美味，就可以用 Chinese cuisines。如果是法式的佳肴餐点，就可以叫做 French cuisines， 或者呢 Italian cuisines， 意大利式的佳肴。所以要称为是 cuisines， 还真的是要有特殊的烹调的风味才能够叫 cuisines。后面我们来练习一个句型，他说 I want to learn to cook Chinese food and maybe Susie 阿姨 can teach me。同样一个句型，你也可以说 I want to finish my homework first and maybe John can help me。我想要完成我的功课，也许呢 John 可以来帮我哈。后面有一个句型是 First I'll start with， 我要从什么地方开始呢？ First I'll start with cooking rice， 我先从煮米煮饭开始。That's a good place to start。 我们来看今天的 Movie Minute。
Movie Minute.
Today on Travel Hualien, we are visiting the Lichuan Fish Farm. The Lichuan Fish Farm is in Hualien County. It is owned by 4 brothers of the Tsai family. They raise hundreds of fish here on the fish farm. But the Lichuan Fish Farm is really famous for their golden clams. There is a Taiwanese saying, feeling around for clams while also washing your pants. This saying is a way to talk about doing 2 things at one time. At the Lichuan Fish Farm, visitors can experience what this saying really means. There are many pools filled with clams at the farm. Visitors have a chance to walk through the pools and pick up clams. It's a lot of fun, but it's a good idea to bring an extra pair of pants. Even the most careful visitors get their pants wet during this activity. After all this activity, people might get hungry. Thankfully, Lichuan Fish Farm has a great restaurant where visitors can order fresh seafood and other delicious local dishes. If you go, make sure to order the restaurant's specialty, stir-fried clams, 炒辣. The Lichuan Fish Farm is a great place for people of all ages to visit. Plan a trip with your family.
Conversation replay.
Dear Journal, I went to Susie Ai's house for dinner tonight. Brian and his neighbor Paul had a big fight over a gold coin. Both said the coin was theirs. I knew it was Brian's because Paul lied about a date. Lying isn't good. I hope Paul learned his lesson. That gold coin was not worth the fight. Being honest is always the best. I'm really enjoying this Taiwan trip. I like the people and I love the food. Tonight, Susie Ai cooked a delicious meal. I had 3-cup chicken, fried rice, eggplant, water spinach, and green bean soup. Chinese food is so flavorful. The 3-cup chicken and green bean soup were sweet. The eggplant was a little spicy, and the fried rice and spinach were salty. Tonight, I learned that a Chinese wedding banquet often has 8 courses of food. Wow! That's a lot of food. I think Chinese food is becoming one of my favorite cuisines. I want to learn to cook Chinese food, and maybe Susie Ayi can teach me. First, I'll start with cooking rice. That should be easy. Boy, I am still so full. I need to stand up now. The very full Taiwan traveler, Patty.
Calendar phrase.
Hey, Gabe, do you want to go get a hamburger?
A hamburger? Andrea, I cannot eat right now. I am so full.
Well, Gabe, do you want to go get some dessert?
Andrea, I'm telling you, I am so full. Don't even talk to me about food.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's talk about our calendar phrase. It is, I am so full.
I am so full.
Well, when you eat a lot of food and you can't eat any more than you say,
I am so full. Thank you. I won't have any more food.
Okay, well, we can learn more from this calendar phrase skit.
I am so full.
I am so full. 我吃太饱了。I am so hungry.
I'm not. I am so full. Do you know how many dumplings I ate?
How many?
50 dumplings. I am so full.
I don't believe you. You ate 50 dumplings?
They were very small dumplings. I am so full.
Next time, share your dumplings with me.
I am so full.
I am so full. 我吃太饱了。
Welcome back, everyone. Well, I'm excited about our question of the day.
So am I. I like the question, and I like Eddie. He's kind of cute.
He is a cutie.
Yeah.
Eddie, can
I like you too, Gabe.
Well, I like you too, Eddie.
I mean, I like you too, Andrea.
Oh, thank you. Okay, can you give us our question of the day?
Yeah, okay. Here it is. What is your favorite Chinese food?
What is your favorite Chinese food?
Oh, I like meerkats.
Huh?
I mean, 凤梨虾球. That's my favorite Chinese food.
What was that again, Gabe?
凤梨虾球, it's shrimp and pineapple. It tastes really good.
Ooh, sounds good. Sounds very good. Well, friends, ask someone this question today. You know, my favorite Chinese food is mapo tofu.
Mapo tofu.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, we have to go. Thank you for joining us today on Let's Talk in English on PTS, where learning English can be fun. Bye-bye.
Ice cream, lemonade, cold and delicious treats. Popsicles, mango ice, they just can't be beat. Iced tea, banana splits, it is so hard to choose.
As long as it's refreshing, we will never lose. Summertime is fun time with such good things to eat. That's why it's my favorite time to go and have a treat. Have a treat. Summertime is